Well, it looks like we're back here again to discuss another game that got a EOS, and this one is Final Fantasy War of the Visions, the JP side. So, I think the global version of this game shut down like a few years back, and now the JP version of it is shutting down. I'm not gonna lie, how many people even still played this game after the global version got shut down? Because I know I definitely didn't once the global version was gone. I just like, okay, cool, because the reason why is because this game is like the Alchemist Code, which both games are both dead, unfortunately. But it's like the Alchemist Code, and having to translate that much stuff is a lot of work. And it's coming from someone who still plays a Monster Strike. You're probably wondering how. I played the JP version, and that game has a lot of translating you have to do if you don't understand what you're doing. And obviously, there's a language barrier because I don't speak Japanese. So, yeah. But this one is, to me, it's not worth it. You know, maybe for you guys it would be, but for me, I was like, okay, cool. Cool, you know, you had a great one. Great run. You did collabs with stuff that I like, near Persona 5. The thing that probably killed you. Anyways, but with that out of the way, let's read the stuff, you know the drill, and then go from there. Um, if this is not in English, I'm not reading this because I'm not translating this. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see. While that's loading, though, um, no, Global had already EOS, but JP was still running slash getting new content before this announcement. I had no idea. Okay, all right, this is loaded. Let's see what this is. Okay, so Final Fantasy War of the Visions will be discontinuing its service as of Thursday, May 28, 2026 at 12 o'clock. Much to our regret, we sincerely thank all players who have supported us over the years. For more details, refer to this. Okay, alright. Which I didn't know that this was still getting new content. Which, I mean, it makes sense, obviously, because it's the first game that was out, so obviously. Just because the global version shut down does not mean they're going to be like, oh no, guys, what are we going to do? I guess we'll stop making content for the JP side. No! They're still going to make content for it, but I don't think no one talked about this at all. But then again, I do not follow this game the way I do with other stuff. So people could have been like, yeah, guys, we're getting new content and stuff. And I would not have cared. I'm here to tell you now, I would not have cared. Anyways. Yet another Square Enix gacha that could have been great, but the progression and gacha were so maximized to be predatory that nobody wants to play it, and then they're about to put another one. They're about to put out another one. Are you talking about the Dissidia game? Are you considering that to be predatory? Which, I mean, it could be. It definitely could be. Even though I haven't played it that much. I might make a video on it, but yeah, I already saw someone say, yeah, this game has not lasted past a year. And anyways, that's a topic for another day. Ran for 6 years, not bad. Most Square IP gotchas run for years, but the sub acts like the all EOS after 6 months for some reason. I seriously don't get it. It's more about how in the last few years Square's killed most of their gotchas. It all started with them shutting down a few low performers in a short go, which made people upset and hesitant about spending money on their actual well-performing gacha games like Index, Imaginary Fest, or that Final Fantasy gacha, which in turn caused them to perform worse and worse. This sub thinks every EOS after 6 months, every game that isn't Genshin or made by MiHoYo is a failure. I've been playing SW for years, and the game is fixing to have its 12th anniversary, and people want it to EOS 2, lol. I don't know what SW is. Are you talking about Shadowverse? Because if you're talking about Shadowverse, boy, do I have news for you. Man, this game had a lot of potential. Too bad greed was its downfall. Wasn't Brave Exodus running for 8 years on global? That's hardly potential, not utilized. Now it was 5 years, and yes, it has the potential to be really good, but the what? But the not only okay. This game was extremely predatory, but the characters literally needs dupes to be pulled multiple times to actually be functional. At least with other similar games, Alchemist Code, you had multiple ways to build these characters with reasonable grind until enlightenment mechanics at least. This game was not really fun to keep up with, and the grind was torture in some events. That is true because I remember when they had the Nier collab, and I remember I was playing the game, and I think I had some either they did not give 2B for free. I think they gave A2 or 9S for free. They gave someone for free. Maybe I'm thinking of Lost Claudia, but I feel like I remember they were just at 1 star. Obviously, I autoed the game. I'm just gonna be upfront with you. I autoed the game. Okay, I played way too many gacha games, and I was not about to like dedicate time to this. So I autoed a lot of stuff, and I'm like, man, 2B kind of sucks, and this this is not good. But it makes sense. I don't understand why you have to pull another copy of a character for them to be good. It should just be basically, once you get a character, that should be it. Like I don't get it. There's a lot of games that do this to where, if you want a character to be good, you need a copy of them. And to me, at least, I don't think that's the best way to market your stuff, especially if there's not a thing to where if you spend a certain amount, you're not guaranteed that character. I think if we live in a world tour, we have to pull certain copies, like several copies of a character. It should be, okay, if you don't get this character in like 10 pulls, you're gonna get it for free. Like your 10th pull is guaranteed this character. For some games that could work really well, but for others, 10 pulls is a lot of damn money. But yeah. Never touching any gacha game developed or published by Square Enix. Learn my lesson while playing Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. Anything by Square Enix is best played free to play. I enjoyed Record Keeper that way, and I'm happy I'm keeping it that way. Either of those were developed or published by Square Enix. They were licensed, but they were developed and published by Dina, Record Keeper, and Gummy, Brave Exvius. Likewise, the new Dissidia is published by Square Enix, but developed by H&H Play Art. Come on, man. Oh shit, this is the one where the brothers end up on different teams. I left after I got burnt out, but the game wasn't half bad if I remember right. What is that the story of this game? Once again, when I played this game, I did not watch cutscenes. It's probably on me for not doing that, but yeah, I'm not gonna lie. A lot of stuff, all these gacha games that I play, I do not like watch. I don't play the game for the story. I play it because it looks cool or whatever. But I mean, if that is what this story was about, it's kind of cool, I guess. I thought this game was pretty good at the start, but maybe it's just me. But the battles felt too long to just pick up and go on mobile. In the end, Square Enix is doing itself no favors with EOSing so many games. I feel bad for the team that's in charge of the new Dissidia game. I feel like that one is just being sent out to die. What I don't understand is how can they do whatever they want. What is how they can do what they did for Occupy Zero, even while the mobile version is still kicking, but they don't do it for this. It gives people less hope. On the flip side, how have they not learned their lesson about price modeling? Can they look at every other successful gacha game and go, hey, let's copy that? Square Enix is literally that Simpsons Principal Skinner meme about being out of touch. I mean, I think a lot of games can take inspiration from others. Like the idea I just said about character, you being guaranteed a character, like a feature character, after so long. Dokkan Battle finally has that. Talk about another game. Talk about another game instead of Dokkan. Anyways, Dokkan has that now to where way back in the day, like before, I don't remember when this happened, but I know when Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta released, the one that could randomly transform into Royal Blue or whatever that form of Vegeta is called. I think on that banner, they're like, we're going to finally implement a thing to where every summon you do, every multi you do, you're guaranteed an SSR. And that changed Dokkan a lot because before that happened, you were not guaranteed an SSR when you did a multi. You could possibly get one, but you weren't guaranteed one. But with that, they were like, man, maybe we should do a thing to where, at least if we're not going to give you the character, you're at least guaranteed an SSR. So that way, however you got those gems, whether you grinded them out, spent for them, at least you're getting something that might be worth your while. Because there would be nothing worse than playing OG Dokkan Battle, grinding up 50 gems, and then getting all rares and SSRs. That's like one of the worst feelings in the world. That's honestly just like, bro, just kick me in the balls and just get it over with. Like, what? I did all this work. I did all this work. And mind you, granted, Dokkan Battle is not very free-to-play friendly. Well, it's better, but way back in the day, the Dark Souls era of Dokkan Battle, it was rough to get stones because we had hindsight about what was coming out, but we didn't have that many events and stuff. And I don't think at that time we had easy A's in the game. So you weren't able to grind out 30 gems by clearing a stage. You had to wait and decide, okay, you know, do I spend for this character or do I wait for this character? It was rough. It was rough. Granted, Dokkan is still like that, but it's a lot better now. But yeah. I don't know why games just don't do that. Take inspiration. Like, I think it would be so cool if games did a thing. Grand Blue Fantasy does this a lot. They're doing this right now. So in Grand Blue Fantasy, they're celebrating, I think, their anniversary. And what they do is every day you spin a wheel, and that wheel determines how many summons you get, free summons you get for the day. I think today, the 29th, you do that and you get 100 pulls, so 10 pulls. And I don't know if this has happened to me, but the little spinny wheel thing broke. So, essentially, you were able to get 5 SSRs. The wheel would be broken until you got 5 SSRs, and then the wheel would fix itself, so that way, you know, you have to wait until tomorrow. I think if more games did that, I think it would make the game a little bit better. Granted, I don't play Grand Blue Fantasy like 24/7. I probably should because they're, you know, I can grind out my classes, but I'm not. But yeah, I think if games did stuff like that, did a thing to like what Dragon Ball Legends does, to where on the weekends you can spend 100 crystals to do a summon to where you might get like a LF in that game, which is the 3rd highest rarity in the game right now. So I don't know. I think games can copy each other's homework for the best, and what made the game feel not as bad, even though Dragon Ball Legends is definitely a game. It's definitely a game. But yeah, anyways. I need another PvE Final Fantasy gacha than Ever Crisis. Fuck, dude. Damn. Jeez. The character designers / artists should really work on more games. I always wanted Dissidia and Final Fantasy Tactics characters to look that. The art in this game does look really good. It definitely does look really good. Unfortunately, it's going to be lost to time soon unless someone archives it, which I imagine someone might. Will we get an offline version of the game? Probably not, but you never know. It's truly remarkable how Final Fantasy is such a strong IP and they fumble it every time. True and real. Like, could you imagine if any other gacha game or any game in general got stuff like this, but it fumbled every time? Like, imagine if Persona got a bunch of gacha games. I don't know why Persona doesn't have, well, you know, never mind. I was about to say, man, I wonder why Persona doesn't have a gacha game. I completely forgot about Persona 5. But the Persona mobile game. Jesus. I forgot we have that. Anyways, to wrap up, this game is shutting down in May. And, you know, I genuinely do wonder how long the new Dissidia game is going to last. I hope it's around for a while, but once again, my expectations are in the dirt, and it shouldn't be like that, you know? Opera Omnia should still be here, and we should have Riku in that game because she was literally in the game's files. I don't know why they didn't give us. Alright, whatever. Alright, my bad. Sorry. The fans of Opera Omnia just took over me for a second, but this game is shutting down, and the new Dissidia game that's out, I don't have high expectations. I really don't. Fly High, War of the Visions, you were gutted, so the new Dissidia game can be here and only be around for like 3 months.